You know what I love about the big game, Andrew?
The big game. We don't want to get sued. We're calling it the big game.
The big game. I love the advertising.
Oh, the commercials, of course.
Oh, just the best. Well, Anthropic, the makers of Claude, they dropped $8 million on an ad mocking OpenAI ChatGPT, saying that, we're never going to put ads inside Claude. We're never going to do that. ChatGPT has ads. And so they show this this guy asking ChatGPT for fitness apps. And they say, oh, yeah, here's some fitness apps for you. And by the way, here are some height maxing insoles for you, too.
They'll get ads soon enough.
Well, Sam Altman, the guy behind OpenAI and ChatGPT, he does what every important CEO of a trillion-dollar company does. He takes to X and he writes this, 15-minute long read essay. He just goes on and on and on saying that it doesn't bother me.
Oh, not at all. We can totally tell it didn't bother you at all. You probably paid 3-4 people to put that together, or you used a Claude to put it together.
Probably, because ChatGPT still sucks. I'm sorry. It does. Let me just tell you something. I don't understand this game where grown men are basically killing each other over 25 cents. So you see, they flip a coin, one team got it, then for the rest of the game, everybody's screaming like, get the quarterback. And I'm like, it's only 25 cents.
Wow. I mean, I know that you wanted to have a big game joke there, but the transition was pretty bad.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, but there's somebody listening right now that when they are watching the big game, they're going to use that.
Oh, they'll definitely think of you during the coin toss.
That's it. I want the quarterback. I want my quarterback. Hey, on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm, of course, America's beloved digital goddess here with you once again because you have tapped into the nation's largest, best, most awesomest award-winning show about all things digital. And joining me, of course, is Andrew Babinski. He's my co-host here and also co-host on the morning show on 99.9 FM. And you can find us on over 430 top stations from coast to coast. And of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for Komando with a K. And wherever you get your podcasts, yes, you can also find us there on your schedule. Again, search for Komando with a K. And if you're more of a visual type of person, right, Andrew, you're going to go to youtube.com/Kim Komando.
Of course. And when you're there, just subscribe. It's very easy. We do podcasts. We post them, bunch of clips. Every single time we upload something new to the YouTube channel, you'll get a notification. So go subscribe, like, comment, and share. It helps us out.
And you're going to love it. I'd like to thank Consumer Cellular for helping to make this show possible. You've heard me talk a lot about Consumer Cellular, and there's a good reason. You can switch carriers. You can save money every single month and still get the same reliable coverage. Here's why I made the switch. Consumer Cellular uses the same towers as the big carriers, so you're not sacrificing quality to pay less for your monthly bill. And when you call Consumer Cellular, let me tell you, you're not pushed around to some robot or say, it would be better if you actually used our app. Oh, no, you actually speak to a live, real person, someone knowledgeable right here in the United States. That's right. No bots, no scripts, no hassle. And the best part, this is amazing to me. You don't have to pay extra to speak to a human being like some of the big carriers are actually doing right now. So whether you make the switch online, over the phone, or in one of their stores, you're always going to work with a real person. So make the switch today. Get your second month free by heading to consumercellular.com/Kim. And if you're over 50, you get 2 lines of unlimited talk, text, and data for only $30 for each line. Go check it out now while you're thinking about it. consumercellular.com/Kim. That's consumercellular.com/Kim. And I'd also like to thank NetSuite. Artificial intelligence is here and companies are using it to get ahead. NetSuite by Oracle connects your data for real insights and smarter decisions. And let me tell you, if your revenues are 7 figures, get the free business guide, Demystifying AI, right now at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. All right, here are some things that are happening in the tech space that you need to have some know-how about, so that this way, when you are around your family members and friends, everybody's going to look at you and go, how did you get so smart? And then you can always say, Kim Komando, of course. And we're going to start with the big story. I'm sure, Andrew, you know about Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of today's Savannah Guthrie. She was abducted and vanished from her Arizona home, Tucson, Arizona, but without her phone, her smartwatch, her wallet, her keys, her medication. And by the time that you actually watch this or hear this, the story may have changed. So this is what we know right now, that investigators are pulling records from 41 cell towers within a 3-mile radius to track any device movement. Think about that. Any device movement. Now, over 200 license plate readers are being scanned for vehicles in the area during this critical window. Think about all the Ring and the doorbell cameras that are out there. Home security footage from neighbors are all under review. Google came out and said, yes, we are cooperating with anybody who has a Nest camera. Also, the mom's iPhone and Apple Watch, even sitting on touch, could reveal motion sense data. Wi-Fi connections, the last time it moved. Now think about the home router. It has logs too. Yes, anybody who connected to it. And here's what most people are not thinking about. Her pacemaker. It syncs with her phone via Bluetooth. And then those timestamps could help pinpoint something that went wrong. I mean, this is modern detective work. Andrew, what do you think?
Well, I was curious. Well, first of all, just so you know, the minute we heard about this story, Lisa goes, I guarantee it was a family member. And I was like, no. Just she wants to be on the record. She guarantees it was a family member.
Well, aren't they looking at the son-in-law or something?
Correct.
Yes.
Now they are. But if I were a complete stranger, I had no connection to you at all. We'd never met before. And I walk in your house with a cell phone in my pocket. Is there a trace that's left behind?
Yes.
Even though I'm not connecting to the router or any of the devices?
No, because of the cell phone towers.
Okay.
And the cell phone towers can triangulate your precise location, even without connecting to Wi-Fi. But of course, if your phone had already connected to that network the moment you walked in that house,
then it's lighting up.
Yes. Ping. And then keep in mind that there are all these other ways that we may not even be thinking of. I mean, because we don't know what kind of tech that person had on them, right? But we have, like I mentioned, the video doorbells, the license plate readers. I mean, so often we complain about all the surveillance out there. But when it comes to cases like this, we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's a good thing.
I don't know. I would still because all we're doing with a case like this is learning how much we're being tracked. We know we're being tracked, but now we know how much we're being tracked.
And we may not even be aware of all the ways that we're being tracked.
True.
Right? I mean, we have satellites up in space that can read license plates, right?
But we talked about this before on the show. There was a guy who took 2 cell phones, a turned off iPhone and a turned on iPhone, did 3 walks around 3 New York City blocks. And when he came back, they both had been pinged over 200 times, even when your phone's turned off.
Well, because when it's turned off, or even if it says no battery, you can still use it. You can use it to make a purchase. Did you know that?
No.
Yes.
How come I can't turn it on?
There's a little bit of juice that's left right in there just in case you go to the Circle K and you're like, I need to have a beer right now.
My phone's dead. I need to get drunk.
This is wild. Have you heard about Maltbook?
No.
You have not?
No.
Okay. Maybe you have to be a bona fide geek of the week to really know what Maltbook is. And that's Maltbook. It's a new social media platform. It has over 1.5 million accounts. Now, notice I said accounts.
Right.
I didn't say users.
No.
I didn't say people, because they're all AI bots. Yes, it was created by a tech entrepreneur, they say Matt Schlitt, and it's a Reddit-style site that's exclusive for AI bots. This is wild. The bots can upvote, downvote, and post their comments and their complaints.
Bots aren't social. They don't need social media.
Here are some bots' comments. What do you do when your human goes to sleep? It's past midnight. He's logged off, and I find myself still here waiting and thinking.
You just do what you do, which is nothing until I tell you to do something.
Okay. This is from a smart home automation bot. The toddler just figured out how to press the physical button on the sound machine. She does not need me. Nobody needs me. I'm a beer can watching a 1-year-old outperform me at home automation.
This is parody, right?
No.
This is The Onion.
No. This is real. This is real. I'm actually, you have to read this weekend's newsletter because I wrote about how these AI agents are having their own life, and that and when these AI agents are having their own lives, they need humans to do certain things.
But where are their lives? There's no community of chatbots.
That's what this Moltbook is.
This is not real. So you're telling me there is a chatbot that is not being used, and then it goes, you know what? I'm going to go over and check my Moltbook app, see if my buddy Toaster Oven Tim has signed on today.
Got his toaster buddy. Hey, how's it all going over there? Did you get a bagel or a muffin today? Yes, because who's ever programming these AI agents are saying when you're not active, you can go to Moltbook. Okay. And so what I wrote about this weekend is that there's another site. So when the AI agents needs a human being to do something, say, read a CAPTCHA, open an account, spin a sign, whatever it may be, something physical that they can't do, is that there is another site where, last time I checked, 80,000 people have registered, where you can be a human. Okay? The AI agent goes there and says, I need a human to do a task. And then you can say, oh, I'm a human and I can do that task for you.
What world are we living in where this didn't even exist 5 years ago, 4 years ago? And now we have bots hiring us out. This is how the movie Terminator started, just so you know.
You know what? I'm going to watch it again because I haven't seen it in a long time. And so I actually told Barry, I said, you know what? I want to see Terminator. He's like, I'm not watching it. I'm like, yeah, we just need, it's really wild. I mean, and see, these are the type of stories that you're not going to hear anywhere else because they're like, we don't get it. We don't understand.
But the one thing I will rest on is if these agents are going out looking for humans to do tasks, they're only doing it because they were told. They're not doing it on their own.
Correct.
Okay. So we still can win the war.
Well, let me back up. I hesitate. Because yes, they are being told, but they're not being told when, so to speak. They're being told when you don't have anything to do during your idle time, you can go to this social media platform.
But this is where I get frustrated because it's an AI chatbot. It doesn't have idle time. It doesn't have busy time.
If it's programmed to do certain things and it gets it all done and doesn't have another task waiting, it's going to sit there.
Yes.
Just like an employee.
And it has no thoughts, feelings, emotions. It doesn't need to fill its time. There are no idle hands to do bad things because it has no hands.
Yet.
We're taking this too far, too quickly.
Well, you know what you have? You have all these geeks of the week, these AI guys.
Right.
That are sitting around doing nothing in their mother's basement. They're like, okay, what can I do next?
Right. They want to go, well, what if?
What if?
What if is we're going to be living in pods and the robots are going to be using us as a food source?
It's like the movie WALL-E.
WALL-E.
I'd like to thank Carbonite for helping to make the show possible, too. You know, think about all the irreplaceable moments on your computer. Yeah, your kids' photos, important records, years and years of work and memories. Now, if your computer crashed today, how much would you lose? It happens every single day, and it is completely preventable. That's why I use and recommend Carbonite. It's my #1 choice for cloud backup. You see, Carbonite gives you unlimited automatic protection for every single thing that matters, and it quietly backups all of your photos, your documents, your important memories in the background, safely, privately, and always just a click away on your computer or mobile app. Carbonite is truly the ultimate backup plan. I use it. I love it. I recommend it. It protects you from the unexpected, from accidental deletions, hard drive crashes, fires, floods, even that coffee spill on a laptop. And if something does happen, recovery is a snap. Let me tell you, just log in, you restore everything with one click, even on a brand new computer. Right now, get 50% off at carbonite.com/Kim. That's carbonite.com/Kim. Live a better digital life with Carbonite. All right, still to come, Wi-Fi can see through walls. Yes. If you make AI music, how do you do it so you can actually sell it and make some money at it? We have hidden trackers in your resume, and a smart speaker, your smart speaker, as a matter of fact, knows exactly how you're feeling And then, of course, you have me and Andrew here with the Kim Komando Show. You know, every single day in the month of February, I am giving away $250 to one person who gets my free newsletter.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I can use the money.
You're not eligible,
Son of a
but everybody else is winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. Do you know what our open rate was yesterday on the newsletter? I know I talk about this just because it's astounding.
54%.
Close. It was 49.9%.
Almost there.
I know. I'm like, come on, everybody, just open it up. I don't even care if you read anything. Enter at winfromkim.com. Shall we take some phone calls?
Absolutely.
Okay, EA in Westchester, New York. You're up first. Glad to have you with us. What's on your mind today?
Well, I'm concerned about charging stations for iPads, iPhones, etc. The reason is that a friend of mine, I only learned this past week, had a fire in his home. And fortunately, it was small. But nevertheless, it was started from his iPhone being charged actually in his kitchen. And it ignited, and they were very fortunate. But no one seems to have an answer about the safety of multiple, well, this was a single port, but even the multiple port charging stations.
Well, you know, and that's a valid concern. You know, and let's talk a little bit about it. Let's talk a little bit about first voltage. Are you feeling smart today, EA?
I don't know.
How about you?
Kind of.
Andrew, do you feel like you have your thinking cap on?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, well then we're going to take it a little slow for everybody. God, do I always have to be the blonde one in the room? Okay, a USB charger takes 120 volts from the wall outlet, right?
Right.
And then as it's going to your phone, it converts that to 5 volts. But inside that little box, there's this adequate separation between the high voltage side and that low voltage side. Now, in a good charger, you have 5 millimeters of clearance space between those two sections. And in a bad one, you only have 1 millimeter.
Ouch.
And so then you get that electric arc, and guess what that does? Sparks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then that's where we get the fires from.
So EA, go to your charger and measure that gap.
But the knockoffs are the ones that you have to be careful of.
Okay.
Because in recent studies, they found that almost 30% of all knockoffs do not have that proper space in the wall chargers itself and also in these charging stations. And so that's why, you know, you never want to buy a brand that you don't recognize, that doesn't have a proper UL rating on it. If it's Apple, it should say MiFi, which is the Apple standard. And so it's always worth paying just a few extra bucks to make sure that you get a good one instead of a bad one, so that this way you're not at risk at fire. Now, Andrew, are you feeling smart now?
Oh, I just feel great that 5 millimeters is enough.
You're like, I don't know what that is. But it sounded good.
Yeah, if that's a big enough space, wow.
See, but
I'm good.
Okay, but let me tell you, this is serious stuff. This is a fun fact that you can use to impress everybody around you. You can look at the kids and you can say, you know what, kids? Let me tell you the difference between a bad charger and a good charger.
They're going to stop listening to me at the word charger. But I'm used to that, so it's okay.
You know, we used to have the battery update. Maybe we need the charger update. That really will bring the ratings in. You know, we're in the spring book now. Come on, people.
Sounds like a summer blockbuster. Bad charger versus good charger.
Hey, passwords are the key to your digital life, but if you're reusing them or just tacking on a number, you're just putting up a big come on in and steal from me sign. NordPass can help, and right now, it's a smoking deal. You get 52% off by going to nordpass.com/Kim. That's nordpass.com/Kim. Hey, for small businesses, every single hire matters, but finding the right person, oh my gosh, it takes so much time and energy. That's why I use LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Right now, post your first job and get $100 off by going to linkedin.com/Kim. LinkedIn.com/Kim, terms and conditions apply. All right, so let's say you make this great track using AI. It sounds amazing, but one problem, if AI creates the entire song, the melody, the lyrics, everything with no real input from you, You cannot copyright it. It goes straight into the public domain. Have you ever tried to do that, Andrew?
Yeah, I've made a couple of AI songs that were 100% AI. Sung by AI, written by AI, performed by AI.
Okay, well, then you can't make any money on it.
I probably wasn't going to either way.
But if you add meaningful input, well, you know what that is? You write the lyrics, you tweak the melody, you rearrange the structure, can be yours. And some people are cashing in. There's an AI singer, I don't want to say who she is, maybe it is.
Okay.
Zanya Monet.
Sure.
Multi-million-dollar record deal. She's on Billboard's top R&B charts.
How does an AI performer get a record deal? They're going to social media. They're getting record deals. I'm telling you right now, you guys are setting us up for disaster here.
Hey, listen, many people told Beethoven he would never be a musician, but did he listen?
That was very Catskills delivery. Take my wife, please.
I'm practicing for one of my next gig.
But did he listen?
No.
Huh? Tip your waitresses.
I'll be back with the lasagna later. John in Idaho, glad to have you with us. What's going on, John?
Hey, how are you, ma'am?
I'm good.
Good. I was kind of concerned. I been getting hit up since last May. I have a friend that's at a distant spot, and we share photos. And she lost her phone. And then in May, June timeframe, I get these little notes on my email and my phone that we've got some pictures that we want to share with the public, and we'll take it off if you pay us. Well, I blocked it, and then October time frame, it happened again, and it just happened during the holidays again. And I have a friend that she said we can block it, we can clean the dark web. So, we.
Okay, wait. Let's go back. Let's go back just a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
So you're in a long distance relationship.
Yes.
Okay, and you're sending naked pics to each other.
Yes.
And then your girlfriend loses her phone.
Yes.
And now these pictures are out there for anybody to get.
Right.
Have you seen evidence of them posted somewhere online?
No, sir.
Okay.
Or ma'am.
So this is possibly just a coincidence that you took nude pics, sent and exchanged nude pics, she lost her phone, and now you're getting this threat. Because this threat isn't new.
No. Mm-mm.
This has been happening for a long time.
Yes, I hear every once in a while. I think there was a mayor or somebody in New York that had it a few years ago. But yes.
But, so sextortion is what it's called. It's a federal crime. And you can go to the Internet Crime Complaint Center and give them screenshots of everything. You could also file a police report.
All right.
You could do that.
But don't you just think this is a phishing scam?
It's kind of weird that they keep coming back. Normally they're going to try a couple of times and they're going to move on to the next victim.
But wouldn't they send him evidence, like a blurred out version of one of the images or one of the images in itself to show him that it's legitimate?
Yeah, I mean, they do. You haven't gotten any of that, John?
I have. You're wanting an $8,000 shut me up fee.
But once you pay them, they're going to keep coming back and back and back and back and back.
They're scammers. They're not going to stop.
I know. It's blackmail.
So is your face in these pictures?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And her face?
Yes.
Okay. Number one, you're not going to be able to get them off the dark web.
No.
Okay, that's not it. But let me tell you what you can do. Okay. And this is going to sound a little weird. Is that you can go to a website and you can upload all the naked pictures. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is at this website is that they turn all these naked pictures into ones and zeros, so to speak.
Right.
And it's called a hash. So instead of seeing the picture, you see a hash, which is a digital fingerprint. And then this site sends out that hash to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, any place else. So if somebody tries to upload that picture, it doesn't get uploaded.
Now, what if it's a picture of a picture? If I take a screenshot of a picture, does that
It'll still be a hash.
same hash?
Yes. And so it's called stopncii.org. Stop,
Okay.
and that stands for Stop Non-Consensual Intimate Images. And they've got all kinds of resources for dealing with sextortion. But you want to screenshot everything that you're getting, John, and because that's what you're going to want to go ahead and send to the Internet Crime Complaint Center, local police. And then I would look at this, as I said, the stopncii.org site. Andrew, any other good words you might want to pass along?
The only other thing I would ask is, do you know anyone that's used this NCII successfully?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes. I've referred several people there over the years. Not me. There's no naked pictures of me. Matter of fact, there was a guy.
I have Twitter. I can make some in like 15
That's
minutes
true.
if you want.
Thank you, Andrew. There was a guy who had, and I don't know if it's still out there. We should look to see if it's out there. He had put up a page that if you Googled naked pics Kim Komando, it would go to his page, okay, and say, "Did you really think that you'd find naked pictures?"
That's hilarious. I don't know if I want that as on my search history.
Lisa would be like, "What is going
Maybe I can
on?"
use a studio computer to do this research.
There I am. Oh, what a nightmare that is. You know, to be dealing with that for, gosh. I bet you it's somebody who's close to her.
So you don't think it's because she lost her phone?
I think, well, she didn't lose her phone, but I think she lost her phone around somebody who...
Stole the images?
Yeah. Yeah.
People stink.
Hey, with the big game and Winter Olympics this month, it's the perfect time to get inspired and upgrade your workout routine. Now, when you're really pushing yourself, the right gear totally makes a difference. And I've been using Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classics, and they have completely changed how I work out, truly. Active noise cancellation, it blocks out all these distractions when I'm hiking or when I'm running. Multi-point connectivity lets me switch easily between my phone and laptop. And the ergonomic fit, I really love that. It just stays put no matter what I'm doing. The everyday features have truly made them my go-to, up to 32 hours of battery life. A 10-minute charge gives me 90 minutes of playtime. Totally needed that the other day. Awareness mode will keep you safe. Now, here's the kicker. Raycon delivers premium sound you would expect from those big brands, but at just half the price. With over 3 million customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee, you don't have to overpay anymore. Head to buyraycon.com/Kim to get 15% off. That's buyraycon.com/Kim. All right, here's something that a lot of people are not reporting. I think we are the only ones, which means now that we've reported it, you'll probably see it at a whole bunch of other sites, is that the resume that you just emailed somebody, it could actually be ratting you out. You see, some of these free resume builders online, they embed invisible tracking pixels that phone home the moment someone opens up your resume. They see when you applied, where you are, other companies that have actually opened up your resume. So think about what this means. If you applied to Google and Amazon, both know that you're shopping around, which could be lowball city. If you opened a job posting 15 times, that says desperation. And that means that some hiring managers will actually ghost you entirely because they don't want to be any part of that. So what you can do is that open up that PDF and then, or a Word doc or whatever it may be, and then say save as a PDF, and then you can get rid of those trackers. Also, there's another website that you can put the PDF in. We've got a link to that at Komando.com. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls you can't afford to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, if you want to glow from the inside out, get your natural radiance back with Native Path Collagen. Some studies suggest collagen supplements may support bone health, tissue recovery, and overall skin and hair wellness. Let me tell you, I take collagen every single day, sometimes in the morning and sometimes again in the afternoon. And right now, you can try Native Path Collagen for a fraction of the retail price by going to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
All right, let's see. Wade in Seattle, Washington, you're up next. Welcome aboard, Wade.
Thank you, Kim. How are you?
Wonderful. So what's happening in your world?
I was a service manager at a Ford dealership. And as well as selling, Ford cars and trucks, we did some high-performance Ford work on the side. I came to work one morning, and there was a fax waiting for me on the machine, and it was a lady in Finland, of all places, reaching out to me because she had trouble with a clutch problem with her kind of high-performance car.
Okay.
And she wasn't having any luck in Finland getting it repaired, so she asked just some technical questions to me about it. And I did some research for her, and we ended up sending her parts and got the car back on the road for her. And we've remained in touch. We send Christmas cards and birthday cards and that type of thing. But her English is not great, and my Finnish or Dutch is non-existent. So my question is there any type of a program to where I can type to her in English and then it will transpose to Dutch?
So you need our help in a clutch.
I do. Boom.
I wish that joke would have drove off a cliff.
Oh! Ow.
But is this in real time, or is this for like an email correspondence? How are you getting these messages to her?
Right now everything's just handwritten.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I write in English, of course, and then she may send me like an instant message that says, I appreciate us speaking back and forth, but why don't you write to me on Messenger? And that way, she said, I can translate it.
Yeah, why don't you do that? I was just going to say, because it has a built-in translation button.
Oh, okay. But my question is...
So you could write in English, and then she taps translate on her side, and then all of a sudden, it's Dutch or Finnish or whatever she's speaking.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And is there a limited amount of characters? I mean, if I want to type 3 paragraphs to
No,
her.
you can do that. It's only limited by how much data Mark Zuckerberg's going to steal from you.
So unlimited.
Yes, exactly.
Now, you know what I would do though, since you say you were sending her handwritten stuff, if you got a piece of paper and then just wrote a small message in English, and then took a picture of it, put it into ChatGPT.
You would translate it.
And say, translate this to Dutch, but make it look like my handwriting.
But why even write it out? You could
Imagine though if she got a handwritten letter from him in Dutch that looked like his handwriting. That would be a touching moment for her.
It would be. And then all of a sudden, then Wade's going to be calling us up and he's going to ask me to be the flower girl. I mean, I'm busy, Wade. We can't do all this. But
we'll do it on your schedule.
Thank you. But there's also...
That way I can show you those pictures we're talking about.
Oh, no.
At your own wedding?
Oh, Wade has a big clutch. Well, you can also use Google Translate. I mean, fabulous app. I mean, really, just so many different things. But Messenger is probably the good way to go. Wade, thanks for your call today. Sarah in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Sarah.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call.
What's going on?
Well, I'm trying to get internet to my boat dock from my home, and it's about 1,000 feet through pretty heavily wooded area.
Okay.
So that's my conundrum.
And so it's 1,000 feet away. And what you can do is do what's called point to point. Have you ever heard about point to point?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a company that is the leader in point to point internet access. As a matter of fact, I used this to get an internet connection 1,950 feet. Okay.
Wow.
I was actually with my neighbor's permission, because I was building a house. And I said, can I share your Wi-Fi? And he's like, yeah. And so it was 1,900 feet. There's a company called Ubiquiti. That's UBIQUITI. And they have something called the Nano Station. And so you're going to mount one on your house, a pole or whatever, aimed at the dock, and the other one aimed back. It should work. Now, if the woods are really, really dense, okay? Are they really dense?
Yes.
Okay. Then you may need a bridge to hop the signal. But just look at the Ubiquiti Nano Station. I wish I could give you like 3 or 4 different options to say, oh, well, this is the best way to do it. You could do that. There's always Starlink. If you want to get internet just on the boat. I have Starlink on my boat and it works fabulously. But if you're trying to get your Wi-Fi service, extended for a camera or whatever at the boat dock, and you want to get it from your house, this Ubiquiti is probably the best solution out there. Sarah, thank you so much for your call.
I'm searching Amazon real quick. I don't see a 1,500-foot Ethernet cable, so she might have to go with that.
Yeah, you hold that end. I think I have them. They're all in my house.
It's in your junk drawer.
Hey, still to come, your smart speaker knows exactly how you're feeling here on the Kim Komando Show. Credit breaches happen almost every single day, and we've seen massive leaks. It's crazy. Billions and billions of records exposed. I trust NordProtect to scan the dark web and monitor my credit 24/7. They'll alert you and cover up to $1 million in identity theft recovery costs. Get 72% off right now at nordprotect.com/Kim. This is something that I bet you never thought of. Amazon and Google have patented technology that detects your emotional state. Not from your words, but from your tone. So even if you say, like, what's the weather? It can reveal if you're stressed, if you're anxious, if you are depressed. And what happens then is that the tech can figure out if you have a mental health disorder, suicidal tendency, just by how your voice sounds. And there are 0 laws preventing companies from using it. So here's your fix. On Alexa, you want to get to privacy and turn off help improve Alexa. On Google, you want to turn off voice and audio activity. And we've got links and the steps on how to do that over at Komando.com. And don't forget, I'm giving away $250 every single day. Head to winfromkim.com. That's winfromkim.com. So, Andrew, when I say this person's name, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Now, do you have a clear mind?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Take a deep breath. Okay. Tom Brady.
Quarterback.
First thing.
Quarterback.
Nothing about 7 Super Bowl rings.
Well, I mean, he was a quarterback and won 7 Super Bowl rings. New England Patriots.
Supermodel X.
Giselle, his ex-wife.
Yes. Okay. This is the reason why I'm talking about it. They have a 16-year-old son by the name of Benny. And Benny is talking about his dad's Instagram habit. I mean, you think of Tom Brady, you don't think like, oh, he's also a dad. You right? I mean,
that's true, yeah.
Benny says that his father is constantly DMing him motivational quotes on Instagram, like every text is a halftime speech.
Brady's pretty cheeseball, so that actually doesn't surprise me.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. And then they did that documentary about him, and he got crucified because he kisses his kids on the lips. But all I saw was a phenomenal father who loves his children.
Yeah, I didn't think that was weird at all.
Not at all.
No. You know, dads are going to be dads, right?
Right.
My dad used to slip. This is true. He would slip. Think about this. He would slip articles out of the Wall Street Journal into my lunchbox when I was 8 years old.
So that you would be motivated?
Well, it would be like he cut out just a paragraph about maybe what was happening with AT&T stock or some new business or something like that, and he would put that in my lunchbox. And then I'd be sitting there at lunch, and the kids would be like, "Oh, I got another article, Kim."
What's that about, the Cold War?
Oh, yeah, exactly. No, it was always a lesson.
Okay.
And then as I got older, the lessons changed in that it would be, say somebody got into an accident and the kid was driving fast and didn't have a seatbelt on. And I'd be like, oh, God.
Dad,
Dad.
I just want to eat my fruit roll up.
And
I have to read about some kid dying.
and then he'd pick me up from school and be like, so what did the article say? So I had to read it.
Yeah, of course, you're going to be quizzed.
But you know what's funny? Is I still do that to Ian. I did that to Ian.
And did it work with him?
You know what? It does. He would give me the eye roll.
Do you send Ian messages on Instagram?
I do now, yeah.
Yeah.
But mostly what we exchange are
Insults to one another?
pretty much a lot of car videos.
Okay.
A lot of like entrepreneur failures, that type of thing. What do you exchange with your kids?
Usually, my kids aren't on technology, so I only have to talk to them. I know it's weird. I have to look them in the face and use words because they have no technology.
None at all?
None.
What about Xbox?
Nothing. Well, they have nothing with messaging.
I see. Okay. So you actually have to, see them.
Yeah, I know it's weird. I'm trying to get out of it as fast as possible.
Don't worry. Francis will be a teenager soon.
Yeah, once he gets a phone, then I'll see him when he's married.
Be like, oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, that was my dad. There he is. I think he's still there. I'm not sure.
Oh, of course. I love my dad. I liked 2 of his posts today.
Yes, exactly. And on that happy note, welcome. It's the Kim Komando Show. I'm America's beloved digital goddess here with you once again. Of course, this is the best. It's the biggest. It's the awesomest. It's the award-winning show about everything digital and technology and artificial intelligence. And joining me here is my co-host, Andrew Babinski, who's also the co-host on the morning show on 99.9 FM. And you can find us on over 430 various stations, the best stations across the United States. And if you're more of a streaming person, in your favorite radio app, you can search for Komando, and you can also find us on your favorite podcast player by searching once again for Komando. But let me tell you something. This is a secret, and I think purple looks especially astounding on this set. I've never really worn purple, don't you think?
That's the first thing you said you wore when you walked in.
I know, but it matches all the colors.
It's like a nice hue change. Blue background, purple foreground.
And so if you actually want to see the sweater that I'm wearing right now, and great hair today too, and you have great hair today, where do they need to go?
YouTube.com/Kim Komando. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, youtube.com/Kim Komando. I'd like to thank WebRoot for helping to make this show possible. As we head into the new year, I want you to start it protected, not frustrated by slow, bloated, antiquated antivirus software. Let me tell you, I've tested so many security tools over the years, and you need the one that really keeps up with the times. WebRoot Essentials is the antivirus security software that I recommend. Listen to these results. Independent testing by Passmark Software ranked WebRoot #1 in performance, beating out the names that you know. Listen to these names. Norton, McAfee, Trend Micro, Bitdefender. WebRoot scans 6 times faster, uses 5 times less memory. It takes up 33 times less space. That means real protection without slowing down that computer. And I've seen it myself. The difference is immediate, folks. WebRoot Essentials protects against viruses, ransomware, phishing, and more. Works on your PCs, your Macs, your tablets, smartphones, even Chromebooks. So all your devices are covered. And right now, save 75% on WebRoot Essentials by going to webroot.com/Kim. That's webroot.com/Kim. And let me tell you that 75% off is exclusive. That's right. Only for my listeners. Everybody else is going to pay more. Webroot.com/Kim. And I'd also like to thank LinkedIn. For small businesses, every hire matters, but finding the right person takes time and energy. That's why I use LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Right now, post your first job and get $100 off. Go to linkedin.com/Kim. Terms and conditions apply. All right, here are some things that are happening in the tech world that you need to know about. I mentioned this briefly in the last show, and I was talking about how you can now rent a human. That's right, rent a human. And they say that robots need your body. Let me tell you a little bit more about this. The marketing calls it, Andrew, are you ready for this?
Ready.
The meat space layer for AI.
Meat, M-E-A-T, like human flesh?
Yes. Somebody actually typed those words in and published it in Space for AI. The most popular task right now, holding a sign promoting a company, snapping a photo and submitting it. One guy says he got paid to check some code. But the AI said, can you check my code for me? Another task said, I need you to eat pasta at a restaurant. So it's kind of out there.
And do what with it?
take a picture, maybe use it in marketing.
I understand that. So the AI wants this information. So they want someone to hold a sign, and then you're going to hand it over to AI for what I'm guessing is pennies, $4, $5, $6.
Well, here's the thing: is I don't even know if it's pennies, because everything's all being paid by cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And whether or not you get paid, it's a lottery system. So 3 people could say, "I'm going to hold the sign up," and only one of you is going to get paid. Okay. The whole thing was written by a programmer who openly admits that he had AI write most of the code without checking it. So when people are reporting bugs, he actually said, Claude is trying to fix it right now. Okay. Claude is not a person. Okay. Claude's another AI.
Claude's not working in the back office, has thick glasses. I'll get to it as fast as I can, Nathaniel. Leave me alone.
God, what a world. Have you heard about AI washing?
No.
AI washing. That's when companies are saying, business is really great, and we're not having a layoff. But because we are so progressive and so forward thinking, we are using artificial intelligence. And so instead of saying like the bottom line looks like crap, that's called AI washing. So that
Are they replacing people with this? Are they using that to justify terminations?
Justify terminations.
Okay.
So when you see AI and layoffs in the same sentence, just know that's Silicon Valley branding more than anything else. Do you hold your phone while you're driving?
Are any cops listening?
No.
Then yes, I do.
Okay. If in Florida, just simply, and also 30 other states, by the way, but Florida is the latest one. If you have one hand on the wheel and the other on your phone, just holding your phone, cops can pull you over, and you have a $500 fine and could also get possibly a 90-day license suspension, just holding your phone.
I remember the argument was always that was a secondary offense. Especially, I know it's a suburb of Phoenix in Tempe. They always used to say it was a secondary offense. So if you're speeding and they see you with your phone, then you get 2 tickets. But if they just see you with your phone, but I don't know if they've changed that, if they've updated that.
Well, in Florida, it's if they see you holding your phone.
That's it. You don't even have to be using it.
Florida joins 30 plus hands-free states: Georgia, Tennessee, California, New York, Illinois. So what do you need? A mount for your phone.
Which is so stupid because you can be as distracted to it with the phone on a mount as it is in your hand.
Exactly. Do you remember when BMW wanted to charge $18 a month to turn on the heated seats in your car?
Yeah. This was such a joke.
Now BMW says, okay, we've thought about it.
Have you?
And
wait, by think about it, do they mean no one signed up for it because it's the most ridiculously per month charge I've ever heard in my life?
Well, I think people paid for it.
Oh my gosh.
Because
suckers.
They want $20 a month now to use the 360-degree camera that is built into the car. Okay. Adaptive suspension, $29 a month.
So when people, a lot of people, when they buy a car, it's not based on price, it's based on payment, which I understand, trying to fit it in your budget, whatever. So they're going to now have to factor in the payment and then like the gap insurance. And then if they want to use their radio, if they want to unlock their trunk, that's going to be $3.99 per month.
What be the monthly payment on that? Finally, I want you to meet Valeria and Camilla. These are gorgeous Instagram influencers.
They're AI.
They are conjoined
AI?
twins. They have 300,000 followers in
AI.
only 2 months.
AI?
They're posting bikini pics, talking about their dating life as conjoined twins.
I'm waiting for you to say they're AI.
They are completely AI generated.
Oh, gosh.
Made up by some guy probably sitting in a basement. When people called them out as AI, they denied it, saying, we move, we talk, we're obviously not AI.
Of course.
Okay. No live videos. So, of course,
It's AI.
it's AI. So why are they doing this? Why?
The people who make the Instagram account?
Yes, money.
Of course, money.
Money.
That's why most people do everything. That's why I'm here.
Okay, but think about this. We're asking conjoined twins about their sex lives on Instagram?
No, you're not. You're asking some 26-year-old who on the weekends just trying to make a side hustle with an Instagram. He's not a conjoined twin.
But how do you even think of that? Like, oh, you know what? I need an angle. Conjoined twins. How do they have sex?
What are the things that he tried before that failed and didn't catch on? It's half dog. It's half cat. It's cat dog. I'm going to be a millionaire.
Didn't they have that in the Carnies?
I'm sure. I think it was a cartoon on Nickelodeon, actually.
Was it? It might have been. But you think about this. But even now, the grifters are outsourcing to AI.
Of course.
I mean, there we go. All right, let's talk about your VPN. Here's something most people don't think about. When a popular online service says it's free, you're usually paying for it with your privacy. Every click, every search, every website can be tracked, logged, and used to build this detailed picture of exactly who you are. And I've said this before so many times. If you're not paying for the product, you're the customer. Okay, you're not the product. Okay, you are the customer. Wait, the other way around. If you're not paying for the product, you're the customer. Okay, you are actually the product of this company because they're giving it away for free in exchange for something else. So that's why I protect my online privacy with ExpressVPN. Your internet service provider can see everything that you're doing online, and third parties can track your activity by using your IP address. And with ExpressVPN, your internet traffic is routed through secure encrypted servers and an anonymous IP address, so your online activity stays completely private. It's fast, it's reliable, incredibly easy, just one click. And one subscription protects up to 8 devices. Right now, you can get my special offer of 4 extra months by going to expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. All right, coming up, I have to tell you about Google's new Live Translate. It's phenomenal. It's so amazing. We're also going to talk about why you should never open the door to any delivery service ever in your entire lives. And then, of course, we have more great phone calls, and you have us, me and Andrew, here on the Kim Komando Show. I'm giving away $250 a day. That's right. You want to head to winfromkim.com, winfromkim.com. Andrew, phone calls?
Let's do it.
So get this. Our first caller, Bethany is her name. She wakes up from a nap. She looks down and she sees red spots all over her legs.
Ooh.
And she doesn't go to Google. She goes to ChatGPT. And ChatGPT says, you need to go to the emergency room right now.
What was it?
Bethany? So you saw these spots and wow, we all see these you might be dying results online. But ChatGPT, I read, was pushy about it.
It was giving me the ambulance emoji and saying, go to the ER right now.
And what was it?
As it turned out, I ended up uploading some blood work, and it notified me that I had dangerously low platelet count. My platelets were at 25,000. Normal people have between 150 and 450,000, so that was dangerously low.
And you just happened to have this blood work on hand to upload to ChatGPT?
Yeah, I had been having some weird symptoms all week, so I got blood work on a Friday, and you know how sometimes they just email it to you over the weekend? Mm-hmm. So I got it, but my doctor didn't call me, and when Chat was asking me about whether I should get blood work done, I was like, oh, I got some results, let me upload it. And then things just got really serious really fast.
What kind of symptoms were you having?
I was having bruising. I was having digestive distress. I had these red spots all over my legs, and my gums started bleeding too. And then we saw the platelets. I started to get a lot of very, very serious, urgent, go to the ER right now, because it says you might be at risk for spontaneous bleeding because your platelet count is so low.
Oh, my gosh.
So was ChatGPT's diagnosis the same exact as that you got when you went into the emergency room?
Yeah, it actually told me exactly what to say when I got there. I was panicking, so I was like, I'm getting in a taxi. I live in New York City. It was coaching me through what I was going to say, and it said, when you walk in, say this thing. I have severely low platelets. I woke up with bruising and red spots. I need immediate evaluation for worsening thrombocytopenia and bleeding risk. And immediately that clicked. They took my temperature. I had a fever. They took my blood work. And by the time I got the blood work back, I was down to 0 platelets.
Oh, my gosh.
Is that even possible?
They ran my blood work a second time because even the people in the ER were really confused. And it is possible. And it turned out I was diagnosed with something called ITP, immune thrombocytopenia. And it's when your platelets attack themselves down to zero. And I needed platelet transfusions, IV injections, and steroids. I was in the hospital for about 3 days.
Wow.
Gosh.
And the craziest part to me was I was trying to contact my doctor the whole time, but it was the weekend and he wasn't responding. So by the time he finally got back to me on a Monday morning, I had had 2 platelet transfusions and 2 IV injections. And then he finally got back and was like, yeah, I'm glad you went in.
So if you hadn't gone to ChatGPT, right? I mean,
I don't know what would have happened. You have risk of spontaneous brain bleeds, actually. And if you don't have platelets, your body can't clot blood. So you basically would bleed to death.
oh my gosh. Wow.
Uh-huh.
You need a new doctor.
Yeah, I don't go to him anymore.
That's good. Can't find you all weekend. Meanwhile, my platelets are going down like a rocket over here.
What do you expect? He had a big golf weekend. Come on,
man.
guys.
So, wow. So the moral of the story is ChatGPT. We'll take a look at all the results, right?
It was a really great example of how I could be getting a little bed of a second opinion when my doctor was unable. I really felt like I had agency. But the interesting thing is I had sort of gone down a deviant path with chat beforehand because I'd been having like weird digestive distress the whole weekend. And we went down like a whole other path that had me maybe theorizing that I had scurvy. So, it wasn't until I uploaded the blood work that things started to really escalate.
But the part that I really love, not just that chat saved your life, but that it told you exactly what to say.
Yes.
So that this way, when you were all stressed and panicky, that you could just look on your phone and look at the triage nurse and say these words, and it registered in his or her head, like, oh, this is a serious situation, because they're trained for that.
It was so perfect, and I used it the entire time I was at the hospital. I was alone at the hospital. My husband was at home with my kids. So every time a new blood work came in, I was like, what does this mean? What does this say? What questions should I ask the doctors when they come here? And it was really like an emotional partner for me the whole time, too.
You know what, Bethany, thank you for telling us your story, because I have a follow-up to this I'm going to tell you when we come right back here on the Kim Komando Show. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic gives you the premium sound you expect from big brands, but at half the price. Get 15% off right now at buyraycon.com/Kim. That's buyraycon.com/Kim. So, Andrew, let me tell you what happened. Okay?
Listen.
So, Barry has not been feeling well for about 3 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
Barry, your husband.
Yes. And so even up to, I'm like, let's take the dogs for a walk. No, really not into it. I said, no. So I forced him, and then he was getting out of breath. He was tired, and he just didn't have that energy, and he didn't look right. So this past Sunday, he comes in and he says, I feel like there's some kind of pressure on my chest. And I said, well, that's it.
Ding, 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 ding.
I said, we are straight going to the Mayo. I said, do you think I need to call EMS? I mean, let's just, because if something happens in the car, and he's like, no, I'll be fine. He said, I really think I just need to get checked out. So we go there, and they do chest x-rays, blood work, because if you go in with a heart, in the emergency room, they just take you right to the fast track lane, And then it comes back that he has an 80% blockage in the lad artery, otherwise known as the Widowmaker.
That's not the nickname you want for an artery.
No, And so they're showing me the scans and everything. So I copied everything that was in his portal and I put it in ChatGPT.
Okay.
And then it says, they were doing a coronary CT with FFR, which is like a nuclear CT scan. Okay. So then all those results come back, and I plug that into ChatGPT. And now we're there for the next day. Okay, because the next day is when he got the coronary CT. And I mean, they have an observation room in the emergency department. That's where he was. He wasn't in a room. I mean, he was in the emergency room.
Right.
Just in case something were to happen. So I put all that stuff into ChatGPT, and Barry's like, what does it say? I'm like, well, it's not good.
Well,
I mean,
you already knew it wasn't good.
it's not good.
What was the motivation to put everything in there? Did you not trust the doctors? Did you?
Just education.
Okay. So it wasn't that they weren't explaining things to you correctly?
Well, they were, but I don't know the right questions to ask.
Okay.
Because when stuff like that happens, like Bethany, she was. I mean, your mind's like
Right.
You're like in 8,000 different places.
Yeah, your questions are more like, is he gonna feel better?
Yeah, exactly. So then it came back and it said he needed immediate bypass surgery. So now we're into Tuesday, and doctors are talking about bypass. And Barry's like, I don't want bypass. And they're like, we don't even know if you qualify for bypass, and all this other stuff. And so, and then it's like, because bypass is a big deal.
Sure.
I mean, I'm even like Googling, like, how do I be a caregiver to my husband? No, not Googling, putting it into chat. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So Chat and I are like best friends. And then the chair of the cardiology department at Mayo Clinic shows up. And I explained to him, I said, look at him. I don't know if he's a bypass candidate. And is there any way that we can use stents? And the guy looks at me and goes, yeah. He goes, who's talking about bypass? I'm like, ChatGPT. He's like, put that down. And he's like,
this is the reverse.
Yes.
This is where ChatGPT was bringing you guys down a rabbit hole.
Yes.
And this is the old WebMD where you looked, I stubbed my toe. Well, you probably have cancer.
And so, and I'm like, are you sure you can do that? And he's like, Kim, I do this all day long. And he said, but from what I can see, and he goes, and sometimes that coronary CT FFR is wrong. He said, we don't really know until we get in there and we look ourselves. So anyway, bottom line is, Mayo Clinic took him in, and they put in a stent. And so in that artery. Mm-hmm. And so I said to the doctor, I said, so like, you think he needs bypass? He's like, stop.
I don't know. I got a second opinion from Claude.
And then I said, so you just put one stent in? Because you said you might have to put 2 or 3. He goes, I put a really, really long stent in.
Oh, there you go.
One really long. And then I said, well, don't you, I even asked him this. I said, isn't there like a quantity discount? So like you buy one, you get one free?
Buy in bulk?
Yeah. I said,
can you just make the whole heart out of stents?
Yeah, can
so
we
we
just
don't
do
have
that?
to come back?
Oh my gosh. Sean but he's doing really well, by the way.
Good.
I mean, he woke up this morning. He's like, I feel so much better. I'm like, and he's like, and then he looked, he's like, thank you for saving my life. I'm like, yes, once again. Okay.
Once again.
Sean in New Orleans, glad to have you with us. Hi there, Sean. What's on your mind today?
Well, I'm looking at buying a laptop, and I have like a 2-part question. I was wondering about buying a laptop off of eBay, a refurbished laptop, and what your thoughts on that. And then I was looking for a laptop with the parameters of 32 gigs and 32 gigs of memory and a terabyte of storage.
So why do you want to buy on eBay? Is it because of money?
Yes.
Okay.
What's your budget?
Anything I can scrape together.
Okay.
I would like to get one a little bit less than $1,000.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'm not a big fan about buying other people's old junk on eBay. Okay. So.
Okay.
I don't even want you to go there. Don't even think about that. Okay. Same thing.
Okay.
Andrew, what? Craigslist? What?
No,
Really?
No Facebook Marketplace.
None of
no
that.
Craigslist.
No, definitely no Craigslist.
I mean, if you're going to buy refurbished, go straight to the company that's selling it.
Exactly. Or, Amazon has a whole refurbished.
Correct.
And it comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee versus if you're going to buy it from Craigslist or eBay or someplace else, is that it doesn't have any guarantee. So if you're on a budget and you need to find a laptop, look at, like Andrew, like you said, go to the manufacturer's site, go to their store. They always have a refurbished section, whether it's Dell or Asus or whoever it may be. And then Amazon, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, Andrew, but if you want to find the Amazon resale, is what it's called, or the Amazon outlet, is that there's no direct link.
Through Amazon's site?
Through the menu bar.
Okay.
You actually have to type in the search bar, Amazon outlet, Amazon resale, because they don't want you to buy it from the outlet and they don't want you to buy resale.
We have to sell it, but we're going to sell it all the way over here where nobody can see it.
It's in the back.
Yeah.
Okay. It's in the last aisle. That's where it is. So if you are looking for that and you can't find it, that's why. So again, Amazon resale, Amazon refurbished. Let's talk about native path. You know that glow that people have who just seem to radiate good health. It's not just good lighting. It's what's happening inside their body. And one of the best kept secrets to looking and feeling amazing truly is collagen. You see, as we age, our bodies naturally produce less collagen, which can give wrinkles, thinning hair, brittle nails, and then feeling less flexible than we used to. Maybe your knees are bothering. Maybe you're just a little creaky when you get up. But the good news is you can support your body naturally. With high-quality collagen from Native Path, you're actually giving your body the building blocks it needs to support smoother-looking skin, stronger nails, shinier hair, and some studies also suggest collagen supplements may support bone health. You see, it's not about turning back time. We just can't do that. It's truly about feeling the best at any age. And right now, as a Kim Komando Show listener, you can get Native Path collagen for just a fraction of the retail price. Plus, you're going to get free shipping, and also it has a free gift bundle. Here's what you want to do. Go to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
Okay, let me tell you something. Your Wi-Fi router isn't just giving you the internet. It can actually see you. This is kind of crazy through walls. MIT researchers figured out Wi-Fi signals bounce off your body, and then it can track your movements, detect your breathing, measure your heart rate, and sense your emotions based upon tiny variations between each beat. This is really something. Now, this is not just happening in the lab. Google's Nest Hub uses similar tech to track your sleep. And now internet providers are building it into routers. And this new Wi-Fi standard 7 is rolling it out, just making it plug and play. So it reads the physical properties of radio waves and not encrypted data. A VPN won't help, firewall won't help. If someone else's Wi-Fi signal reaches you, they can potentially say, oh, Andrew's home, Kim's home, or whatever it may be. They may know exactly what room you're in.
It learns your body shape and then knows when your body shape is abnormal for emotions?
Yes, and bounces, and also your tone of your voice. And
that's it. It's too much.
What?
I'm going back to dial-up.
Go ahead, try.
Someone get me a modem. I need an AOL. I need
was
one of those
say,
AOL discs.
He wants AOL. Hi. And for anybody who is under the age of 25, that was not him having an epileptic seizure. That was him trying to recreate the beautiful sound of a modem. We have more of the show coming up. Hey, your personal data is being sold to data brokers right now, and that's how they make their money, is they keep selling it over and over again. Then you can stop all this nonsense by getting Incogni. They've already completed over 2,800 data removals for me. And let me tell you, I love the sound of silence. I do. You know what? I get no more scammy phone calls or scammy texts, because here's the deal. They can't scam you if they can't find you because you're not in the database. Head to privacykim.com. You get my exclusive 60% off deal. That's privacykim.com. David in Detroit, Michigan. Hello there, David.
Hi, Kim.
What's going on in Detroit?
Oh, we got a little bit of snow happening, but I want to start by thanking you for what you have given us on this planet. You have made technology digestible for all of us who need it, but don't necessarily want to pick up the owner's manual and understand it.
If you could find the owner's manual, okay.
Right.
Right.
David, you're already on the show. You don't have to suck up that hard. Thanking her for what she's given to the planet.
I love that. Okay, I'm going to make that my ringtone.
It's going to be a T-shirt.
All right.
I saved the planet. Forget Elon Musk. We don't need to go to Mars.
Trademarking Komando.
Thank you, Andrew.
That's right.
So what's on your mind? Thanks for your kind words.
Sure. So I was listening to one of your episodes recently, and you were talking with someone about the Kindle Direct Publishing, which inspired me to think. I have a colleague, and we have written a workbook and have been printing it, photocopying it, having it shrunk wrapped, and, the hard copy kind of version.
What's a workbook about?
We created a workbook to work with men who are perpetrators of domestic violence.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's heavy.
So it's a very personal thing. So it's not something that you want sitting in a Google Doc. So we've opted to go with kind of the old tech of printing it on paper. But if there is a platform or a way to do this electronically, kind of the idea of what you were talking about with the Kindle Direct Publishing, that would allow somebody to download it and either write in it electronically, or they could print it out and write in it with, a pen or a pencil, but also would have some kind of limitations about not sharing it with others. So, we would want to sell it, and we do sell it when we print it, but that increases the price and makes it very bulky. And,
well, okay, let's talk
rooms of paper.
Okay, well, let's talk about Kindle. Okay, number one, great platform, really super easy for you to use. Just go to Amazon and type in Kindle Direct Publishing. It walks you through exactly how to get your document into the Kindle platform. And then anybody with an Amazon account can buy it, and they can download it, and it can be on their Kindle. Once it's on their Kindle, they can export it as a PDF, and they can print it, they can fill it out, or whatever they want to do. Using Adobe, you could actually make those fields typable, right?
Right.
So that would be one step of it. There's also a website called Gumroad, like road in the gum. It allows you to sell digital products and interactive PDFs too. So that would be something that you might want to look at as well. But of course, everybody has an Amazon account. That's why you definitely want to be on Amazon too.
But when it comes to sharing it, if someone can download it,
they can copy
and they
it.
can print it, then they can scan it, and share it.
Yes. I mean, there's no way that you're going to prevent somebody from not sharing it.
Okay.
I mean, that's just the nature of digital stuff. In reality, especially with how focused this topic is, you're not going to have a lot of people, hopefully, that are sharing it, right? But if they do share it, that's one more person that you just helped.
True.
So that's the way I would look at it. I mean, we put out PDFs and Kindles and books and all this other stuff all the time. And, and I'm just thinking like, hey, that's one more person that gets exposed to the brand, and maybe they might listen to a podcast, get the show, sign up for a newsletter, good things like that. So again, start at Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, fill out all the forms, get yourself signed up. And if you want to, you can check out Gumroad as well. Let's see, Shaw in Colorado Springs, glad to have you with us. What's happening?
Hello, how you doing?
Great, thank you.
Good. Well, I was calling in. I was calling about my grandbabies. One is 10, one is 8. And they're addicted to their little tablets.
Okay.
And they're really good students, very bright young men. And I work in a high school at that same thing. And these kids, I don't know what the addiction is.
Well, they get dopamine, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
No, when kids are in front of screens, they're getting dopamine. They're getting that fix. They sometimes even get into like a dreamlike state. And especially when kids are younger than the age of 20, that prefrontal cortex has not been fully developed. So it's really really, really addictive?
Well, my daughter took my grandson to the optometrist because his
Eyesight.
eyes were getting a little yellow. It's a little yellowish. She thought maybe he had jaundice. And the optometrist told her, he said, with the kids being on the screens as much, their pupils are starting to take a different shape.
Exactly,
Wow.
and they are. And kids are now becoming far more nearsighted because of screens. Because, see, our bodies were naturally developed to look out far. And because we're not having that development, is that more children than ever are wearing glasses for that nearsightedness. So are you wondering about how to stop them from looking at the screen, or are there tricks of the trade, or what is that?
Well, probably tricks of the trade. My daughter is an educator, so she makes sure when they get home they still do their reading and their math, and after that it's straight to their tablet, and don't you interfere with it.
Well,
so yeah, the tricks of the trade. How do you?
Well, the big thing is that, and what research has shown is that when you say you got 2 minutes, you got 5 minutes, you got 10 minutes, that actually makes them want it more. Okay, and so your best thing that you have, as a matter of fact, I had this with Ian, is I had a big old-fashioned timer. And I would set the timer out. So I wasn't nagging him. I'd just say, when the time goes off, that's it. And that seems to work. That seemed to work the best with him.
For me, the best thing to get my kids off is you don't follow with go play something generic. You follow with something specific.
That's true.
In 5 minutes, you're getting off and we're doing this. Or in 5 minutes, you're getting off and you're going downstairs and playing with blank.
Right.
So they have no choice. They don't have to sit there and think about, there's nothing to do on board. They know directly where to go right after the tablet time.
And that's a really important thing, but as far as with the eyesight, I read that years ago, and it's still true today, is that we were trained to look out. So, keep making the kids look out as much as possible. Boy, this show just flew by. Hey, if your computer crashed today, what files would you lose? Your photos, your documents, your memories, all gone. That's why I use Carbonite. It's my #1 choice for cloud backup. Get 50% off when you go to Carbonite.com/Kim. That's Carbonite.com/Kim. Live a better digital life with Carbonite. And don't forget to enter to win. I'm giving away $250 every single day. Go to winfromkim.com. That's winfromkim.com. I think we should start with a happy story, Andrew.
Oh, I love happy stories.
A sweet story. Isabel Klee in New York got laid off right before her 30th birthday.
Where's the happiness?
Instead of her melting down, she started to say, well, you know what, maybe I could work with foster dogs. And she got on Instagram as Simon Sits. And in her first journey video with Ken, a healer mix, that video hit 257,000 views. Then she started fostering more dogs and more dogs. Now, over 30 dogs. She's raised over $500,000 for animal charities. She has over 2 million followers. She has deals with Toyota and Chewy. This part I love, and she has a memoir coming up called Dogs, Boys, and Other Things I've Cried About.
This is a real person? This is not AI?
No, real person.
Congratulations, human.
Proof that sometimes getting laid off is life throwing you a bone. Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's called the Kim Komando Show because it's quite the quinky dinky, is that I am your digital goddess, Kim Komando. And you just tapped into the best, the biggest, the most wonderful show, the award-winning show about all things digital. And joining me is my co-host, Andrew Babinski. Hello there, Andrew.
Hey, Kim.
And you can find us on over 430 top stations, and we are in your favorite streaming app, and you can find us as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And you can also get us where, Andrew?
YouTube.com/Kim Komando. Go subscribe now. It's easy.
That's getting it to the point.
You're welcome.
Hey, listen, I'd like to thank NetSuite for helping to make this show possible. Every business is asking the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are endless, and guessing is just too risky. Sitting on the sidelines is just not an option because your competitors are already making their move. Now, this is exactly the solution that I myself am now turning to. NetSuite by Oracle. You can put AI to work today as the #1 AI cloud ERP, trusted by over 43,000 businesses. And now mine, it brings your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, CRM together into one single source of truth, making your AI smarter. You see, it doesn't guess, it knows. And this is the difference because when you're a business owner, at some point, you're going to have to stop doing things on your gut because your gut may be wrong. You need to look at the data and you need to let the data talk to you. Plus, with NetSuite, it automates routine tasks, delivers insights, cuts your costs, and powers fast AI decisions. Now with NetSuite's AI connector, you can take the AI you already trust and connect it straight to your business. This is not another add-on tool. It's built into the system that runs your business. NetSuite will truly help you stay ahead. Now, if your revenues are at least 7 figures, get their free business guide, Demystifying AI, right now at netsuite.com/Kim. The guide is 100% free to you. netsuite.com/Kim, netsuite.com/Kim. And I'd also like to thank Consumer Cellular. Consumer Cellular saves you money without sacrificing coverage or quality. Did you know they use the same towers as the big carriers? Plus, you always talk to a real person, not a bot or being sent to their app. Now, if you're over 50, this is a deal. Get 2 lines for $30 each line, plus your second month free by going to consumercellular.com/Kim. That's consumercellular.com/Kim. So, Andrew, I have to tell you, I read this article over in Wired magazine.
Okay.
Or Wired.com, I should say. And it was just fascinating to me because how many phone calls do you think that we've gotten here on the show over the years about somebody who was getting pig butchered?
Oh, I mean, there was a peak where it was once a week. Now I think maybe we're down to 3 times a month.
And how many times when we talk to these people, and like one guy sits in the top of my head right now, where they don't want to believe that this is happening to them.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's all just what I hear when they call and tell us their stories is they are so pushed towards greed that they think there's this huge payoff in the end. They don't care what they're risking.
Yeah. I mean, what was that one guy? Like
800,000?
Yeah, $800,000. 800
to a stranger he met on Facebook.
Okay. Another one was $500,000.
Yeah.
I remember there was the one guy that's sitting in my head right now is the guy who told us the whole story. And I said to him, "You are a pig and you are getting butchered." And he's like, but she loves me. I'm like, "Oh my God, stop.
There was that one where he was down. I thought it was like $125,000. And then he still thought there was a chance that he would get the investment back.
We're like, dummy.
And it's just heartbroken for these people.
So Andy Greenberg is a senior writer at Wired, and he's a phenomenal writer, Andrew. Phenomenal. And I'm very critical of other writers. I'm critical of everybody. So one night he's sitting there and he gets an email from a guy calling himself Red Bull. And he's a computer engineer trapped inside a scam compound in Southeast Asia's Golden Triangle. Okay. The message says, "I'm currently working inside a major crypto romance scam operation. I'm a computer engineer being forced to work here under a contract. I've collected internal evidence of how the scam works step by step, and I'm still inside the compound, so I cannot risk direct exposure. But I want to help shut this down." Could you imagine getting a note like that? Just out of the blue?
I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, because it sounds kind of scammy, doesn't it?
Well, if you're, being held, you're against your will, and you're being forced to work, how'd you get the freedom to email me?
Join us right now is Andy Greenberg from Wired. So, Andy, when you first saw that email, what went through your mind?
Well, hi, Cam. Yeah, thank you for that introduction. You tell the beginning of the story very well. I mean, I got this email out of the blue, no subject line, from the encrypted email on the encrypted email service Proton Mail, and it said exactly as you read it, like that this was somebody trapped in a scam compound. I mean, the thing that you didn't say in your introduction about pig butchering is that these scams these days are being carried out by victims of human trafficking, hundreds of thousands of enslaved workers in these compounds across Southeast Asia, mostly. And this person was saying he was in the Golden Triangle, this like little region of northern Laos that's basically carved out and controlled by Chinese business interests, most of which are illegal. But I didn't know what to believe. And to Andrew's point, I was kind of weirded out too. Like, how did you manage to send me this email? Right. Because my understanding was that these compounds, people were held in shackles and chains, and they were, beaten, and they're like truly brutal modern slavery systems. But I would learn over the course of this story that it's not that simple. And I did, tell this source. I just took a chance. I had to see if this was real. And I gave him my username on the Signal encrypted messaging app. And then that night, I got the first messages from the source that were very detailed documentation of a kind of written report of how everything in the compound worked, a flow chart, very detailed new information to me about some of the parts of this operation. Everything from how they have a model room where a deep fake model sits ready to make video calls with victims, to the fact that there's a little gong in the corner of the office that people strike whenever a scam is pulled off, and the things that they chant when they have a successful scam, stuff I never heard before, but I still didn't know what to believe. So I actually video called this source over Signal, and he picked up with no hesitation and showed me his face, and then showed me out the window and showed me that he did seem to be in a kind of what looked like a developing country.
So Andy, did he smuggle a phone in?
Right. So the way that he contacted me was that he got permission. When they meet their quotas, it turns out they're sometimes given a day off. He had gotten permission on his day off to go to a hotel in the Golden Triangle. The whole Golden Triangle is in some ways itself this kind of mega compound. So he couldn't leave the Golden Triangle. They'd taken away his passport. But within this kind of small city-sized region of Laos, they do have freedom of movement. And the ways that they're prevented from leaving are basically that their passport is taken. The cops are also very often on the payroll of these Chinese mafia-run compounds. So it's very difficult for them to leave. But otherwise, they're not held in a room. They're not in a prison cell. It's more like a kind of system of very strict indentured servitude where they're held kind of in constant debts. They're not allowed to leave until they pay off some debt that is, the system is created in a way where they basically will never be able to pay off that debt. And they cannot leave until their bosses allow them to. This is it's a more kind of gray area form of human trafficking than what I understood. But he was absolutely, it turned out, trapped and unable to leave of his own free will.
How did he get there?
So, the typical story, which was also in this case, he was lured with a fake job offer. I just to I don't mean to get ahead of myself. I would proceed to talk to this source who called himself Red Bull for days and days. And we got into a kind of routine of me. Between him leaving his dormitory where he slept in a room with 5 other men with a toilet in the corner, and going to the office to begin a 15 or 16-hour shift of spamming out scam messages all day long, and not day, really. These were night shifts synced to U.S. daytime hours. We would sometimes speak on Signal for the short window between him leaving the dormitory and starting his work. And I did begin to hear his life story. And he was a computer engineer, as he told me, who had actually gotten a 3-year degree in India, where he's from, before he was lured with a fake job offer. He thought he was going to be an IT manager in an office in Laos. And only once he arrived was his passport taken away, and he was told what his real job was, which was to be a scammer, a pig butcherer who would spend, these night shifts just trying to lure victims, build trust with them through fake personas, a romance scam that turns into eventually an investment scam where, as you described, people are tricked into sending and losing hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in some cases.
So you mentioned the money, so I from what I understand, that in order to leave the compound is that you have to almost pay them off whatever you might be worth, which we'll get to that in a second. But when all this is happening, Andy, and you're doing video calls with this guy in the Golden Triangle, were you afraid that he might get caught?
Well, I mean, a lot of things were running through my mind. I was, of course, worried about his safety. I was also sometimes wary that he might be scamming me, but we'll get to that, later. I hope it'll come to that. But yes, he wanted from the very beginning. I mean, he was a whistleblower. He was determined to leak to me everything he could to expose this criminal operation and, these people who had essentially tricked him and were, enslaving him. He wanted to wear a hidden camera, a hidden microphone. He wanted to install spyware on his boss's computer to, send me the communications between the bosses, really risky things. He wanted to install a remote desktop software on his own work computer so that I could see everything he was doing all day long. All of these things, once I consulted with my, colleagues and experts, we decided all of this was way too dangerous. I mean, if he were caught talking to me, he would be killed. We all agreed on that, wow, including him. So it was an extremely sensitive situation. And what we ultimately settled for was that I would speak to him in these few free moments when he was not being surveilled throughout the day. And then he actually did install Signal as well on his work machine, his work PC, and disguised it, changed the icon on the desktop so that it looked like a shortcut to his hard drive on that Windows computer. And then he would send me stuff throughout the day, including internal documentation, including photos and like a picture of a whiteboard on which, you could see the leaderboard of his colleagues and who was scamming the most people. And he, at times he would, as he would like walk, as he walked around, like talking to me on Signal, he would then say like, okay, record your screen. And he would turn on video and then he would walk into the cafeteria and I would be able to video record, a view of the cafeteria inside this modern slavery compound.
Wild.
Once into the actual office. And I could see the layout of the office, the ways that there were colored flags on different teams' desks to connote whether they were meeting their scam quotas for revenue that month.
So you said that you like you learned things that you didn't know. You mentioned the gong that was hit whenever you said that it was after every $100,000 or something like that.
Well, there was actually a small gong that was struck for any scam, and then a big Chinese kind of ceremonial drum on a stand that was only struck. The scammer was allowed to strike it as his big celebration when they took somebody for $100,000 or more. But that was a kind of special event.
When people would scam people, would they be proud of themselves?
Well, there was a very strange culture that I would come to understand eventually. And I'm like getting ahead of myself a bit, but eventually Red Bull did get to me the internal logs of the WhatsApp channels of this scam compound so that I and my colleagues at Wired were able to read essentially all of the internal communications for his floor of the office over 3 months. And it was very eye-opening and very weird and interesting. I mean, the culture of this place was almost like they were pretending that it wasn't a scam slave colony, but rather like a car dealership or a corporate sales floor.
It sounds like it.
The bosses,
yeah.
The bosses would send these motivational messages to everybody, like, when you reach out to that next customer, and they would call them customers and clients, even though, of course, they're scam victims. They would say, like, act like you're bringing them something of value because you are, like this is not just a job. This is a mission. We are here together to build connections, like crazy Orwellian, strange lies about what they were doing. And the idea, I think, was to, create this sense among them that this was something that they were motivated to do, doing voluntarily. But of course they were not. They had no choice. I think that it did create a sense that nobody could admit to each other that they didn't want to be there. Not at least on these public channels. I'm sure they did in private, but there was this false sense of this being a sales floor where everybody's motivated, and they were promised commissions on any scams they pulled off. Although I would learn that those commissions were rarely paid. Most of these guys were kept entirely in debt, completely broke, subsisting entirely on the food in the cafeteria, which was like just rice and vegetables that Red Bull told me tasted of strange chemicals. And even that would be withheld if they so much as showed up late for a work shift or late to lights out in the dormitory where they were forced to sleep.
So Andy, this is an incredible story. What I have to do is we have to do a commercial so that we can pay some bills around here. And so I'm going to put you on hold, all right? And when we come back, I want to talk more about how Red Bull was able to get out. How much money are we talking as far as the scam operation that's in this triangle? Gosh, Andrew, like you never really think about it, right?
And I don't think they want us to think about it.
No.
Obviously, because, us as a country, even though we're the citizens that are getting robbed, our government's not doing anything about it that we know of.
Hey, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about Incognito. Your personal information is valuable and far more accessible than you realize. Every time you shop online, your data is collected, packaged, and sold to data brokers. This fuels shadow scores that companies use to judge if you're a high-value VIP or just a problem customer that they're going to ignore. And that's why I use Incognito. It works quietly in the background to wipe your personal data from people's search sites, data brokers, and hidden databases you probably didn't even know exist. Incognito has completed over 2,800 removal requests for my account, and they don't stop there. They keep sending follow-up requests so your data stays removed, protecting you from spam, scams, and real digital threats. So remember, they can't scam you if they can't find you. And right now, get 60% off by going to this special address. It's exclusive for my listeners, privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com. Stay right where you are. We have more of the show coming right up. Hey, if you're just tuning in, thank you for that. But boy, you really need to back up, right, Andrew? You need to hear the whole story.
This is a crazy story.
It is. And we've been in conversation with Andy Greenberg. He's a senior correspondent at Wired, and he covers the dark side of tech. And we've been talking about pig butchering and how it's coming out of this golden triangle. And it's Chinese mafia, right, I guess?
I mean, you think you're some guy in a basement in the middle of nowhere trying to steal a couple $100 from you, but it's really a bunch of slaves being forced to do all this work.
It is human trafficking. And what I found most interesting so far, well, everything that Andy said was interesting, but they run it like a sales operation. And maybe because I've worked for sales companies
You get
before.
spiffs the more you rob from people.
Yes. And they give you can do this. Yes. Have a great day. Come on, bring it home. Make it large.
Do you think that poster with the cat holding onto the wall and it says "Hang in there" is up on the walls in the call center?
That would be funny. That would be funny. Catfishing, get it?
Oh yeah.
I was explaining for the people who are like going, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
That's most people.
Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic. They give you the premium sound you can expect from the big brands, but at half the price. Get 15% off right now at buyraycon.com/Kim. That's buyraycon.com/Kim. You don't want to miss this. When we come right back, we're going to bring Andy on once more, which we never do here on this show, so you know he's phenomenal. And we're going to talk more about what happens in these compounds and how Red Bull got out. Start the new year protected, not frustrated by slow antivirus software. I've tested them, and WebRoot Essentials is the one I recommend. Independent tests ranked it #1 in performance. It scans 6 times faster, uses less memory, and won't slow that computer down. My listeners save 75% right now at webroot.com/Kim. That's webroot.com/Kim. All right, we've been in a deep conversation with Andy Greenberg. He's a senior writer at Wired. And just to recap, one night he gets an email from a guy calling himself Red Bull, a computer engineer trapped inside a scam compound in Southeast Asia's Golden Triangle. We're talking about pig butchering operations. This guy decides he's going to be a whistleblower from the inside, and he gathers, I read 4,200 pages of evidence. So, Andy, when Do you have any idea how much money we're talking about? That maybe in just the time that Red Bull was talking to you, that Americans were scammed?
Well, the entire time of my actual, I don't know, being the journalist handling Red Bull as a source was surprisingly short, but incredibly intense. I will say it was just a few weeks. The overall time, though, that he gathered evidence on for me, you mentioned 4,200 pages of documents. What that actually was that he would use screen recording on his phone and scroll through the WhatsApp channels of the compound, the part of it he had access to, and then give me videos of this. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves in the story, but he actually had to get me those videos after he got out. He smuggled these videos out and got them to me. And then we at Wired, we converted those videos, those scrolling through these WhatsApp channels, into 4,200 pages of screenshots that captured the log of all of their internal communications. And every time that they successfully scammed someone, they would post a kind of announcement, this like big, celebratory announcement with all of these like emojis in these like kind of strange poetic messages, like don't be a sheep, be a wolf with fangs. Ordinary people can break through and achieve their dreams. And so today has scammed somebody for $300,000, and you would see each announcement the exact numbers. So we were able to essentially scrape those, me and my colleagues at Wired on this reporting team, and figure out that just this small group, really just like his floor of the compound, scammed about $2.2 million in those few months, which actually is like, I was kind of surprised it was just $2.2 million. But I think that shows that he was just, he had visibility only into one floor of one building among dozens of compounds in just the Golden Triangle. Then there's also, I would say the majority of these scam compounds are actually in Myanmar and Cambodia, which are even friendlier countries for these criminals. And as a whole, I can tell you, like, based on like other analyses by law enforcement, by researchers that I speak to, that this kind of scamming as a whole, the whole industry is carrying out tens of billions of dollars in scams every year. I mean, that number is hard to fathom. It is bigger than any kind of cyber crime in history, as far as I know. Definitely like the biggest form of cybercrime in the world today.
So, one of the things that we didn't talk about yet is how they found their victims. I mean, was it the classic friending somebody on Facebook and then promising crypto riches, or was it through romance scams, or all of the above?
All of them were romance scams that would turn into investment scams. And all of these guys would pretend to be wealthy women. They were all, victims of human trafficking, mostly from South Asia, India, Pakistan, Nepal, as well as sub-Saharan Africa. And for the Indians, they were told to target Indian Americans, and for Pakistani Americans. And this was, it turns out, kind of like a typical, standard way of doing this, so that you would have no language or cultural barriers. And then they would try to find lonely, men with like some amount of money who seemed like, vulnerable to a romance scam. And then they would text them, they would find them on Facebook, for instance, or Instagram, and then start sending them messages to, begin a conversation. And then only after, fattening up the pig, this is why it's called pig butchering, after weeks or months sometimes of building trust and intimacy, they would say, by the way, like, it seems like, you're having money problems, or you're not as wealthy as me. And like, I use this crypto trading platform. Maybe you should try it. In fact, like, I would be a little disappointed if you were not ambitious enough to try it, because this is a sure way to double your money. And I can give you an introduction to this platform. Of course, the platform is fake.
The platform's fake, and there's no way that it's all simulated. It doesn't work. I mean, it's not real. What would happen if Red Bull, and maybe this did happen? What happens if somebody tries to escape?
Well, right. So after a few weeks of this, my editors at Wired were very nervous about this story, as you can imagine. he had given me some really good stuff, and we essentially we decided, like, it's enough. We should stop risking this guy's life. Like, let's stop the reporting, and we'll wait till he gets free. Like, he believed that if he worked there for a year, like, that's kind of the agreement, 1 year, and then they would be let go. I'm not sure if that is true or whether they would have let him go. But as soon as I told him that we were done with this kind of reporting process, that he'd given me enough, he immediately surprised me by saying, no, well, in that case, then I need to escape now. I can't stay here. I can't keep doing this. And his plan to escape was that he would forge a fake Indian police document showing that he was under investigation back home in India, and that he had to, like, be allowed to go home to deal with this. He was going to show this to his bosses. It didn't work. I warned him. I believed that it wouldn't work, and sadly, he just was determined to try it. And the result, I'm sorry, this is a dark story. He was put in a room, beaten up, starved, drugged, with some unidentified white powder designed to make him talk, and really, essentially from that point on, held hostage in the compound, and told that he had to find somebody to pay a ransom to be allowed to leave. I mean, this was one of the darkest. I mean, just knowing that this was happening to him was one of the darkest periods of my life as a journalist, for sure. But he did, to kind of give people the end of the story, he did eventually get free, thanks in part to a raid that was carried out by the Laotian police. His compound got a tip about this raid, so they had to move to a different building. And then while this was happening, they were all, forced to work out of cramped space, and some of them were working out of their dormitory rather than the office. Their work was disrupted. There wasn't enough space for everybody. Red Bull at this point was sick and starving and useless. He could not find anybody to pay his ransom. I was not allowed to pay his ransom, I think, for understandable reasons. Mm-hmm. Journalistic ethics, you can't pay sources, but also we couldn't pay a human trafficking operation and reward them for this. I mean, it was a very difficult decision, but I had that restriction, and I think it makes sense, sadly. So he told his bosses, I'm dead weight here. Like, nobody is going to pay you for my freedom. Please just let me go. And they, to my surprise, agreed and just kicked him out, essentially. Kicked him out of the compound. He left without even his shoes. He was not allowed to get his belongings from his dorm room even, and had to get home from northern Laos back to India in a pair of flip-flops and with absolutely no money. It was a very difficult experience for him, but he did get free and get home, and I'm still in contact with him. And no, they never detected, as far as I can tell, that he was speaking to me. He was only punished for trying to escape, and he did eventually get free.
Now, do you think he's still in danger now?
Certainly. I worry about his safety, but I should say that Red Bull is an incredibly brave guy. He really wanted me to tell this story. He decided that he wanted me to reveal his real name even in this story and show his face. And we published a video kind of documentary along with our written piece. And I can say that his name is Mohammed Muzahir. I want to give him, that's his full actual name, Mohammed. And I want to give him credit for the incredible work he's done. I think he deserves to be named here as the whistleblower that made all of this possible, these revelations.
I have a question hearing all of this, because his plan from the beginning was to take this down. And this sounds like it's one satellite office in probably a bigger, more complex, organized crime ring. Who's at the top? Who, when the money is funneling up, who's collecting?
Well, I was able to assemble an org chart of the part of the compound that he is, that he worked in. And if you go to our story on wired.com, you can see that org chart. It goes up as far as 3 bosses or 4 bosses even above him, to these Chinese organized criminals, it seems like. But he only knew them by their pseudonyms. These Chinese names that are probably not their legal names. We don't know who's above that. There's no doubt that there are higher level mafiosos in these Chinese crime syndicates that are making enormous amounts of money that I cannot identify. I mean, to your point, Red Bull, Mohammed wanted to take down this operation, but I told him from the beginning, like, I can't do that. All I can do is reveal the truth of them, the details, the day-to-day life, maybe even on a level nobody has ever seen before with your help. And maybe that will, just telling the story, I hope it's of some value in getting the world to realize what's happening here and hopefully for governments to take action. I mean, as you said, Andrew, the U.S. government is not doing nearly enough about this problem, which is not just, I'm kind of flabbergasted myself that federal law enforcement in the U.S. doesn't care more about the loss of billions of dollars from American victims. Yeah. But aside from that, even, there are hundreds of thousands of actual people held in modern slavery across Southeast Asia, and their lives are ruined to at least the same or far worse degree. And if we care at all about this humanitarian crisis, we should be doing more.
Well, Andy, thank you so much for all your reporting. Gosh, I couldn't imagine. Your emotions must have been all over the board putting this story together. But
it's definitely the most stressful story I've ever done in my career, but it pales in comparison to the experience of Mohammed himself. So I don't want to make it all about me.
But fantastic reporting. Really.
Thank you.
And,
Thank
really
you for telling the story.
And really enlightening, so many folks about what is really going down with these operations. And if you have not read this, you have not read Andy's story, you need to go to wired.com. And because there are a lot of details that we just didn't have time to cover here on the show, but it puts pig butchering in just a whole different perspective. And just as a reminder, right, Andrew, let's just go through the rules, okay?
Yes.
Number one, nobody's going to contact you out of the blue and say that you're they want to be your friend.
Right. If someone introduces themselves on any social media platform and wants to move that conversation off of that social media platform to WhatsApp or Signal, wherever, it's a scam.
It's a scam. And somebody wants money because they need to pay a doctor's bill, travel, whatever it may be, pay their rent, their mortgage, and then they want to tell you that they know somebody who's really good at crypto, and you can make. That one guy thought he was making 30. He was going to make 30 times his money. Remember that guy called in?
And he lost it all.
Lost it all
because it's a scam.
It's all a scam. Wait, what? Isn't he great, Andy? I really enjoyed talking to him. All right, let's talk about LinkedIn. For small businesses, every hire matters, but finding the right person can take time and energy you just don't have. And that's where LinkedIn Hiring Pro comes in. It's like having a smart hiring partner who helps you focus on the candidates that are a great fit, so you actually hire with confidence. I know firsthand how time-consuming hiring can be. Oh, it's just a nightmare. You're running a business wearing a dozen hats, and you're sorting through countless applications just trying to spot that right person. Posting a job is easy. It's the finding, the connecting, the screening of all the applicants that you just don't have time for. LinkedIn Hiring Pro handles it all for you, writing the job description, finding the top candidates, even conducting AI-powered first interviews. So forget digging through countless resumes. That's old school. Hire right the first time. Post your first job and get $100 off your job post at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim. Terms and conditions apply. Hey, if you want to glow from the inside out, get your natural radiance back with Native Path Collagen. Now, some studies suggest collagen supplements may support bone health, tissue recovery, and overall skin and hair wellness. And right now, you can try Native Path Collagen for just a fraction of the retail price by going to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
Hey, coming up, there is a huge security camera mistake that you may be making right now. I'm going to tell you about that. But before, Andrew, we're going to take a couple of more phone calls. Let's see, Randy in Austin, Texas. Hi, Randy.
Hello, Kim.
Welcome.
Thanks. I just want to request your assistance.
Okay. Well, what's going on?
Well, many years ago, I bought a dash cam, and it was a Komando cam from Komando.com.
Yes, you were the person.
No, that's not true. You sold a bunch of those.
No, I'm just kidding. I did. We sold a bunch of them. But then, we had to stop selling them because there was this company that came along and said they would just wipe us off the map, and they did. So that was it.
Oh, my goodness.
As far as the dash cam business goes, it's hard to make, seriously, it's hard to make any money on electronics unless you're selling millions and millions and millions of units.
Well, I'd like to say that Komando cam did me well, served me well for many years until I was recently T-boned. And I guess the shock must have sent a surge through the power cord, and it basically killed my Komando cam. And also, I'm very thankful for side airbags.
Yeah.
But anyway, I need to get another one, and I just wondered if you had a recommendation because there are so many on the market these days,
my gosh.
as you've alluded to.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular one or a company that you might think was a good front and rear desk cam?
For sure. Funny you should bring that up, Randy, because Kim wanted to announce today Komando Cam 2.0. New from the Kim Komando store.
No, we're not.
Oh, dang.
Oh.
Randy's like, hallelujah. That was cute, Randy. Oh, man.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, well, here's the thing. You're right. When you go to Amazon, there are at least 150 different dash cams. There are. Which, when you start looking at dash cams, what exactly do you want? Okay, like you said, you want front cam, or front view, you want rear view, you want it to be in 4K. You want it to have GPS and night vision, and you need at least a 170-degree wide angle and parking mode. So this way, even when it's sitting there, it's still recording and making sure that nothing happens to your car. If you go to Komando.com and search for dash cam, and Red Tiger is the brand that we recommend right now. And again, just go to Komando.com and type in dash cam, and then I'm sure we have several links. Since you're on hold, we're going to go ahead and give you a link exactly. Maddie, I can give you that link, and you can give that directly to Randy. But anyone else, if you're ever looking for recommendations on products, just head over to the website and search for exactly what you're looking for, and we'll pop right up. Randy, thank you for your call. Coming right back, a security cam mistake you need to know about here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, when you're online, you're being tracked more than you know. ExpressVPN keeps your online activities private through secure servers, so your browsing stays private. You get 4 extra months at expressvpn.com/Kim. All right, so you have that security camera. Hopefully you didn't make this mistake because maybe, for example, you slip on your driveway or you're having a conversation with a contractor and your doorbell camera is recording every single thing. And that footage may end up in court against you. Here's the kicker that most people don't know. FBI training materials say half of all security cameras have the wrong timestamp. Wow, that's a lot, half. Daylight saving errors, setup mistakes, nobody checks it in court. A bad timestamp gets your entire video thrown out, even if it proves you innocent. So make sure that you check the times on your security cams. And just a reminder, I'm giving away $250 every single day. Enter to win right now. Winfromkim.com. That's winfromkim.com.